We are here in Chicago. Today, it should be an eventful day. I do think that there will be several more protesters down here. I'm starting up at like Clark and Lake Street, so I'm going to have to walk a couple of blocks. I'm going to go shut the org's blinds first, and then I'll head over to the event. There are other protesters at the event right now. I just want to say, hey folks, I am super tired. Last night I was out celebrating with family and friends. But here today, gonna see what we can do. I appreciate all of the comments that we had overnight, all of the emails. We did find a lot of information. So we know, I think we've discovered who the person with the hunched back is. That we look to have found him through Facebook networks. What else do we have? Several other emails. Now there's one of the other booths might be a Scientologist. I'm not able to really connect the person to Scientology. Howdy, Lady E. Hopefully everything's doing well in South Africa. Thanks for being here, Fuzzy. Listen, I have no real knowledge of this, but I would say that Scientology could not have been happy yesterday. I don't think the event organizers were happy. They absolutely won't be happy when I start doing the press releases on the idea that they're supporting and allowing a cult to be a member of their event. At this point, they've at least heard my side of the story, so we'll see what happens there. Good morning, me and Taz. What else do I have here? Again, tired. Really grateful for all of the support overnight. You know, yesterday we had several meaningful super chats. All super chats are meaningful. Don't feel you need to super chat. Ask me questions. Interact, engage. I think that that the channel works best when everybody participates. So please make sure you're doing that. Be kind to one another. Yeah, so I have had conversations with people overnight, and if there are, it's too risky due to legal natures for some people to be here today, but please understand they are 100% here in spirit. And they stand behind the protests of the cult of Scientology. Howdy, Australia. Howdy, DTS. What else do we have here this morning? I do have my body cam on. I did get an Insta360. It's charging in my backpack. In case there happens to be any close engagements, right? Yesterday, you'll notice that the only people that violated anybody's personal space were the event coordinator when he decided he wanted to shove up on me. By the way, you can look at the chapters from last night's video, and there's 1,000 chapters. It was a rather eventful afternoon, and again, I wasn't able to even identify every individual element of it. There were so many great interactions where people walked away from the booth having heard what we were saying. But again, the event organizer definitely tried to press up on me to give me some intimidation factor and show me, hey, how does it feel to you? It's like, well, yeah, this would feel terrible, but now show me that I did that to anybody, and we'll talk, right? The same thing with the police. I am getting really, really annoyed, pissed off with the police on saying, please don't do this thing that we have never seen you do, right? Yeah, I feel like, why don't you tell me not to rob banks even though you have no knowledge that I have ever attempted to rob a bank? So why are you saying this? And I am going to go by the police station this afternoon, probably Monday, because I think that today is going to be a little bit there'll be enough to do with Scientology today. But I am going to go file charges on the Scientologist that led the false charges, right? So she filed false charges. Now, in reality, she didn't, but she is the original claimant. And every time that I think security actually called the police, but security did it on the reliance of her testimony. So I do want that to be part of it. And I do want to actually sit down with whoever the public person or the person who's supposed to stand there and take complaints from the public is, and show them the video of Scientology encroaching on my space on Memorial Day several hours after I had been warned quite strenuously that I cannot put my camera in anybody's face. Even though I have never done that, they never saw me do that, I have no understanding why they would warn me of doing that, right? That Scientology has been very hyperbolic on the idea, oh my gosh, he's running up people. He's almost knocking them down, right? That's got to be what the claim is in that situation. Howdy, Manning 8. Folks, as you know, I like to share all of the channels that are out there. If you can and you're not yet, please go and subscribe to them. We need to make sure that the pie grows. We don't need any individuals becoming more powerful. I have no desire to try to horn in on the biggest slice of the pie. I want to create a big pie. Let's see, what else is interesting this morning? Okay, the conversation about Cubs, was he injured? Was he tired? Is he just taking a break? You know, I haven't, work has been work. And I haven't been able to spend as much time on many of the channels as I have in the past. Howdy, Fluffer Squirrel. Oh, good. Yay. That's awesome news. Thanks, man. Manning 8. So yesterday, after I left the event, I was able to contact that last person that we saw sitting in front of the cans. And she was very overwhelmed by the process, and then realized as soon as they said, now do you want to buy this book, she realized what was going on. So, and she was very thankful. She took my card. She said, thanks for being out there, right? Absolutely correct. Scientology is a fallacy. There is no medical evidence that shows anything in any of their books or any of their literature, any of their teachings, any of their beliefs that are helpful. Now, I will say that if you need to believe in something bigger than yourself, and by the way, I believe that the universe is much larger than I am, right? I'm a speck in this universe at best. That you can have those beliefs, but don't let those beliefs take place of medical help, psychiatric help, therapy. The scientific method is incredibly strong, right? And the human brain, when they got out of the if you think about it, in ancient times, humans had to work 24/7 in order to survive. There was no time for creativity, there was no time for thinking. Philosophers didn't really exist, right? But people still need to know why they existed. And we'll see that most of our traditional religions come out of long ago times, and it was to help people understand why they are here, right? As we came to the scientific method, we realized that we could test things. And if you could test things independently and get the same results, that science started taking over, right? And so this idea that this book, Dianetics, Modern Mental Health, is anything other than fallacy is ridiculous. If you have a psychological problem, you need psychological help. And you should never feel shameful of that, right? There are so many people that hide from as simple as dyslexia, ADHD, right? And by the way, I'm not saying that, oh, those are little diseases, but the idea that those diseases are less life-threatening, right? But still people are ashamed of them, so they oftentimes won't get the help required. Ha! Folks, we've got our first Scientologist. Olga's ahead of us. So this person is Olga, right? She's dressed in the Way to Happiness book. She'll have a satchel there with flyers. Maybe we won't get to the org just yet. That's right. Way to Happiness. You'll notice that she took a drastic left-hand turn towards me, right? She closed distance on me. I did not close distance on her. Yes, I am going to follow those flyers. I don't want the information of that cult to get out onto the streets. We'll just see how far she wants to go, because I do want to, I'll say this. I'm comfortable and confident there are already people over at the, yes, this is the woman that showed me her fist. Now, her cohort, right, the one that she is usually paired with, we have not seen her in a long period of time. And I believe the reason is because they understand that I could easily file charges on her, and they wanted to get her out of jurisdiction. Yeah, Greg, it easily could be a distraction. Hello, police officer. Please don't approach me. I will defend myself. Do not approach me. I will defend myself. Do not approach me. I will defend myself. Yeah? As long as you are out on the streets selling your propaganda, I am going to be following you. I don't care about you, I care about those flyers. You will not pass any of them out. You're right, English is a second language. I'm sure you heard an accent. Again, the body camera is going to show she's at a very large distance from me. I'm at a very large distance from me. She approached me when she walked past me. Howdy, Norman. I'm guessing that she'll walk back to the org. She is not a public Scientologist. We will see her in staff uniform several times. She does live across the street at Imprint. or at least when she leaves the org and when she comes to the org, that's where she goes to and from. On the far side of the street, the woman in the overalls with the blue hair, she is a student. She has had a past history of Scientology. It did not go well for her. She had to escape. Yeah, it's very likely that she doesn't have direct access to her documentation. It would surprise no one that she's here on a religious visa. She will likely overstay that religious visa. Oh, by the way, folks, we got a Bears game here today. Now, since she has talked to the org, the blinds will probably be down when we get there. Please note the distance, and she is in public, I am in public. I'm asserting my First Amendment right. She has every right to show her propaganda in public. I have every right to inform the people of the deceptive information they're receiving. Sorry, I'm yelling at you guys. Folks, I always smile. Yes, I am walking across the street. I am walking across the street with the walking sign. Both of my cameras will show that she's had plenty of space. Both of my cameras will show that she has plenty of space. I'm giving her every freedom to show out the propaganda of her cult. Every time she passes out a piece of propaganda, I'm going to collect that from the victim that she shares the cultic information with. Now she's running. Yeah, so stalking in Chicago requires that I give her a threat, and I have never given her a threat. How you doing? Hello. Yes, I'm giving you personal space. Do you notice I waved very friendly to you? I do believe that she is going back to the org. Oh, we've got some Scientologists there coming out. Yes, I am crossing the street. We've got some Scientologists ahead of us, ready to head into the org. Why are you walking backwards? Yesterday, one of the Scientology staffers came up to the booth in his street clothes, and he acted as though he was, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I want to read that. And he picked up some flyers and started handing them out so that they could look like, wow, they can convert people that quickly into Scientology. He didn't realize that I've got so much film of him entering the org in his uniform. So, all right. I know they gave the impression that, so I was able to tell everybody, hey, he's just an org member in disguise. Hello? Hello? Are you still in public? And yes, as I expected, right? The blinds are down. Yeah, and again, you do know that she's trying to build a case, 100%. I will say that I have incredibly strong evidence. You've all heard me several times. I have hours of video expressing that I don't care about her. I don't want her passing out flyers. If she comes out without flyers, I don't follow her, which is evidence that I'm not following her. I'm following the flyers. Absolutely, D. All right, folks, now we're gonna head over. I do believe that there's already a police presence there. I've been hearing back chatter about that. We should be able to cross here at the light fairly quickly. Got a Bears game here in town today, so we're seeing a lot of folks in their Bears gear. Oh, sorry. Notice security doesn't care about the camera right now, right? Because they have no idea what my intentions are. So there is nothing illegal about having a camera in here. They'll try to tell me that that's on the permit, but when they bring me the permit, they realize there is no evidence of that. So we can see Neno here, right? And then we saw the person that had the false complaint, all right? Called the police under illegal pretense. Got a little e-meter there, right? Hey, Neno, how you doing? Howdy, me and Glitter. Hi, Nance. How you doing? So there's not much activity here. Yesterday, they did whatever they could to try to circle the wagons. They tried to involve the security people. They tried to involve the event organizer. They tried to involve the police. They tried to involve the police sergeant. They all realized that what I'm doing is fully protected by the First Amendment. So that amendment that gives them the right to be a church. And remember, you get to claim you're a church. The government doesn't say you're a church. The government says you're a charitable, you can say you're a charitable organization or not. I am kind of scanning the crowd because I do expect to see, oh, I see. So I saw Olga out. She was walking away from the org as I approached.
Oh.
And she immediately turned around. And by the way, are you okay on camera? Right.
Oh.
That she immediately turned around, but then she kept on back camming me the whole way, right? The gaining the evidence of the idea that, right, he's stalking, so.
Yeah, no, this all of a sudden started showing up, and it was like, interesting.
We've got quite the police presence out here today, making sure that everybody's safe.
Across.
Yeah. They were not here yesterday. I will say that today we've got the Bears event, and we've probably already seen people walking through here.
Sort of a coincidence.
Yeah.
They're right, across.
Yep. Hey, Poe, how are you doing? Really appreciate you being over here.
I saw one person on the cans when I got here. Otherwise, it's been really quiet.
Yeah. It's so early that I wouldn't have imagined.
And I'm guessing that might have even just been one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yesterday, one of the people that we always see in uniforms came up like this unsuspecting civilian. Oh my gosh, this is so great. You know what? I want to hand out flyers too. So he stood up there and he standing out handing out flyers too. And they said, look, we've even got the neighbors doing this. And I said, he's one of your staff members, you idiot, right?
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure what we could and couldn't do.
Yeah.
I figured.
I'll say this, give them space. Yeah. Do not block any, always let people walk through.
They want to walk up there, they want to walk up there. There's not much to do.
Now, the one thing I think is if they try to pass out anything away from their booth, they're probably in violation of their agreement with the event. Because why would this booth want somebody passing out somebody else's, why would this booth want somebody passing out somebody else's stuff?
Yeah, and there's like religious, other religions down there. So,
but we'll call those religions, and this one's a cult.
But
yes, I know.
Like,
no.
I'm sure they don't want somebody stepping on their territory.
Correct. Yep, they paid.
Get a booth next year.
Yes. I was wondering, is that really what we should do, and then hand out anti-Scientology propaganda?
Yeah, right.
I will tell you that there were so many people that said, yeah, thanks, I know, I really appreciate being out here, and others that didn't know, right, that didn't correlate them with Scientology, and then others that truly just don't know what Scientology is.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're promoting it as self-help.
Yeah.
And Ellie is on her way down.
Excellent. Excellent.
Where she's going to find parking. Juanita won't be here until after.
Okay. She was a rock star last night. I really loved her. She was able to engage so many people. She got the flyer from the redhead, the older redheaded lady.
Yeah. Oh God, the one that used to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she goes, oh, I love your hat, and then finally realized that she was talking to an SP.
See, that's what happens when they go undercover. They have no idea.
Yep. Now, I would encourage us to kind of wander over towards the org every half hour or so, just to keep the blinds down. Oh, so they were down. So I'm guessing that what happened is when Olga got on the phone, she probably would have said, hey.
Yeah. So they know you're coming, but they don't know I'm
100%. Yeah.
So that's, and they don't know Helly's coming.
Yep.
They probably know her by sight, but I haven't been down there that often.
I love that.
All of them know me. But I was just waiting to see too what the interaction would be with you if they're going to have.
I'm going to go and I'm going to go engage the police real quick. I just want to talk to them.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm going to give them a little bit of space real quick. I'll wait until he's done. So. Howdy, sir. I just kind of want to say, if you could keep an eye on me today, and the reason is that there are going to be people here that are going to claim I did stuff that I didn't do, and they're falsely claiming crimes. I have never, in the history of my having this camera, walked up to somebody and put it in their face. You're going to hear people exclaim that that's what I do. I am very careful about it. I've got body camera proving that I haven't. You're going to get some calls today. Okay. So I just want to let you know that. All right? Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to check this out.
You know what? I love this festival. I think it's incredible
My
that.
daughter goes, grandson down. It's like,
Right.
no, and pretend you don't know me. That's fine. Anything new with them?
I just let them know that, hey,
Oh, okay.
you're going to get some claims today that I put my camera in people's faces. If you watch me, you'll find that I've never done that. I've got plenty of video evidence. I'm supporting myself, right? And I'm telling you, you're going to get calls today.
Just an FYI.
Yep. Yeah.
I just told. We're doing a text with Angie.
Nice. I don't want to. I want to hear less about that. Yeah. Yes.
The one thing I said I need from here, I was like, I need a bookmark.
How are you today? How are you today? Good.
My back is better.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, I can see the Scientology booth. There's just no activity or interactions going on over there.
Maybe that's okay.
Yep. Yep, they're fine. Yesterday, I did have interactions with the event organizer.
I heard.
He pressed up on me. Again, the idea of you can't do these things, but you're doing them, right? As well as one of the security guards. He tried to get me to body route me to go up onto the sidewalk. I'm fine right here. Don't touch me. He goes, I didn't touch you. I said, don't touch me, as in do not
Yeah, don't
make that
think
next
about it.
action. Because once you do, yes, there will be a claim.
Just warning you.
All right. I'm going to head over there. I'll just stand there. The other one I'll say is that if you back up to the building,
Yeah.
you're not on the event's property anymore.
Oh.
So if you want to talk to somebody and say, hey, if you'd like to see more information about this, like what I've been doing with the cards is I've just been asking them to, if you come over here, I can give you more information on this. I just can't pass it out at the event.
Is that park area?
Oh, 100%, not part of the event. Not part of the event.
Okay, so I can stand over there.
100%.
Let me get over there before you get over
Yes.
there, so I can video.
Beautiful little puppy taking a stroll today. So this guy, right, he was the one that said I'm annoying them as well. So I will stay away from his booth. I don't need two vendors making false claims. So.
Hey guys, come hear about the Dino Washington experience. Not yet.
You gotta find his table first.
Oh,
We're late.
you are late.
All right, let me go up here. Yeah, there are other people here. I don't really want to put them on camera. You know, they're going to accidentally be on camera anyhow. I do agree that, right, hey, going up to the police first and letting them say, hey, keep an eye on my actions because you're going to realize that somebody's going to lie to you today about what's going on. And I will be over at the police station probably Monday. I think that I'll have a full day today. I really am wiped out from last night in regards to what went on. What I hoped to do today, again, was to go past the org, but if you would have seen the opening of the stream today, I did catch the Eastern European blonde heading out with her Way to Happiness outfit as well as Way to Happiness brochures. So she had the satchel on, and if you want to go back there, you'll be able to see that. Right, it's early. We're probably not going to see a lot of action right now. There will be other people protesting today. So for those of you that maybe haven't seen e-meters before, now Declared Dave has shown you, I don't know which model this one is, but what I've tried to explain to anybody who sits down there, I've told them, hey, turn that over. It says that it's not approved for medical use, right? The FDA tells us that we can't do that because the Scientology used to make false claims about what these well, not used to, they've always made false claims about what these meters are doing and can do. I will say that I always feel better when there are more people here. Again, more cameras, more angles, the idea that, you know, false stories. We saw Scientology outright lie to the police yesterday, right? When the police came up to me, I said, show me any evidence. And the police said, well, we don't have any evidence, we're investigating. I said, well, when you find something to investigate, come back, I'll be here. If you want to look at my videos, they're online, they're live right now. You can go see if I've been touching. So we would have seen Never in Nana, or heard Never in Nana. Okay, so it's the Mark 8 Ultra meter, the Chinese manufactured meter. So are they children in China? That's one thing I don't know. Is that just traditional Chinese labor building those, or is it Scientology building those in China with their own Sea Org-like staff? Yeah, we're all surprised that Scientology lies. As we notice, we've got this big table up here, and none of it says anything about Scientology, right? So we've got the evolution of science here. The little book with all the thin pamphlets, those are things like books on how to be a better parent, marriage, how to do well in the workplace. There's one of those that talks about children, and I didn't really see what that element was. Yesterday I did tell them, if you guys go home right now, I'll go home, right? By the way, if we can get any kind of facial recognition on her, that'd be great. I see her a lot. She's at the org, you know, she's got to be based here in Chicago. There actually are 2 meters here today. One thing that I'm going to ask, Dave, when they do the free personality test, is that a qualified auditor doing that work? Or is that, sorry, I'm going to zoom down just a little bit so we just have better coverage of the table. You'll notice nobody's really interested in Scientology today. Yeah, I like that. Tina, great shirt. There is no science in Scientology. How you doing? So she, Pound Sand Scientology, yes. And Pound Sand Universal Security. Yesterday it was very funny. One of the custodial workers that's here for the event, I don't know what you would categorize them. So the security and the custodial services, like the people coming around cleaning up trash and stuff of that nature, it's United Services, I believe, and they had a United Services person that the United Services person was taking the stress test yesterday. Now he was Spanish as a primary language, so I couldn't really help them. Howdy, Papa Smurf. So her, this one I can't hear, but the blonde woman at the top of the show absolutely has a foreign accent. She actually tried to talk to me, right? And I couldn't really, I give up trying to understand what she's saying. She just doesn't have a great command of the English language. And that's not shaming her. I'm just saying that I struggle to understand what she's saying in that process. So today we are at the Lit Fest, so the literary festival. We are in Chicago on Dearborn. So this is Dearborn Street, right? You oftentimes see me walking up and down Dearborn Street. And then over there at that, you've got the large building there. On the grand opening day, that's the building that Leah was able to get out on the patio on. That's Clark Street, and that's the bottom of the street where Scientology's ideal org is, at 650 Clark Street. Yesterday, well, I knew that the Literary Fest was coming, and I had every expectation that, hey, Scientology sells books, right? I've got a cam back coming on me, so I just want to make sure that I'm waving to them. If you turn that meter over, you'll see the FDA says it isn't a scientific instrument. It cannot be used for medical uses. It's the cult of Scientology. Are you okay with human trafficking? Neno's going to keep on hiding, but hiding is downtone, right? We know that Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard said never hide, right? So, Lisa McPherson was pulled out of the hospital by Scientology. She was locked up in a room and bound. And 17 days later, she was tried to be rushed to the hospital and she died. Xenu, the galactic overlord, rounded up all of the Thetans in the galaxy that was overpopulated, froze them, put them on DC-8s, flew them to Earth, put them in volcanoes, and blew them up with hydrogen bombs. That's the space fantasy that this organization believes in. Just so you know, they are a human trafficking cult. L. Ron Hubbard, the author of those books, said the best way to control somebody is to lie to them. L. Ron Hubbard's own words. Open up that Dianetics book to page 349. You're going to read a story about a little girl that should not feel any strangeness because an older gentleman kisses her in a sexual way. That's the writings of this author. You know what? Somebody's here filming the stand, so I'm going to go approach that person and ask them if they want to hear about the crimes of Scientology. Excuse me, would you like to hear about the crimes of Scientology? Okay. You're okay with human trafficking and child abuse? You don't know if you're okay with it? I am always intrigued by people who don't know if they're okay with child abuse or human trafficking. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to chat. Let me kind of scroll up a little bit. Amy, I'm not going to go that far, but I will say, up. Remember what I told you? I'm merely educating people about the human trafficking and the child abuse. Yeah. He has a First Amendment right to tell anybody what he wants to, right? And I have a First Amendment right as well. I'll walk a little bit out of everybody's way so they don't have to come past the camera. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So you still have to pound sand. Thank you, sir. I really wish the lieutenant would have been over there. And by the way, that was a lieutenant. I don't know if I've seen lieutenants before, but the gentleman that was in the white shirt earlier, right, the officer in the white shirt was a lieutenant. Normally we see sergeants out here. I'm going to guess that there's an overload on the police force today with the Bears game in town. No, so they've left the booth. So these people are speaking one of the several Chinese languages. Hello, Shishi.
I'm sorry, where do you guys
Oh.
how are you doing? We're here. No problem.
Yeah, listen, yesterday we saw them leverage many of the local publics to come here. And when I say public in that sense, it's that I'm talking about a person who is a Scientologist, but a public Scientologist, not a staff member of the org. Now we have to just figure out what is the emoji for pound sand. How are you doing today? So this is the gentleman, he's got a booth here as well. Let's give him a little bit of press. So it's Blue House Books, all children's books?
Oh, we're children's and adults.
Okay, so children and adults, so it's Blue House Books. One thing, I'll always encourage you to come down to this festival. This is a great festival. The amount of books that you'll see here are just phenomenal. And you'll see rare books, one-off books. This is just kind of the literary mecca of Chicago. They're Scientology.
Oh, I know.
They won't tell you. They're very deceptive in their advertising.
But it's all around Hubbard. You know,
Yes. Yes. Well, you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. But I appreciate that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Listen. I will tell you, I genuinely appreciate police officers and that they put themselves in the line of fire on a daily basis. But I do not, I will not let them violate my rights.
I'll be back later. I'm guessing it's from the board. They get real heavy here.
So I think this is an organizer. Yeah, so he had walkie-talkies on there. Feel pretty comfortable and confident that he's associated with the event. Howdy. One thing that I kind of heard yesterday, right, that Scientologists get a lot of advertisement from this. Yeah, the only people that are watching this are anti-Scientologists, right? So, well, and OSA. So OSA is probably learning what their books are as well. Sorry, I asked a question earlier and I didn't see an answer on it. Can a non-accredited auditor do this personality test, right? And when they're not really doing the personality test, right? They're not asking the hundreds of questions that are there. They're really just asking a few questions and saying, here, hold the cans and think about this, and what'd you think about when they see whether it's a rock slam or a spike on the needle. But what I don't know is, right, can a non-auditor even sit in front of that machine? Like, that seems like a violation of policy. By the way, the person that went over to the police to give them their shore story, right? Because Scientology has all kinds of acceptable truths. Acceptable truths are something we also call in the world lies. So they lie a lot. But Neno Aquino is the gentleman that went over to talk with the officers. Howdy, Haggis Basher. Thanks for coming in. So just kind of an update. How you doing? You're fine. You're fine. Again, on the way to the org today, I was planning to go over there to shut the blinds before we came over here. We did intercept one of the body routers. Thank you so much, Leslie. I really appreciate that. That's incredibly generous. And I'm going to walk off property for just a second because I don't want it to look like I'm handing things out here. The thing that I probably spend, well, the thing I spend the most money on is gear, but also these flyers. So I do hand out these flyers to people. So the scan code is going to bring you to the website, and it's going to show you a lot of the stories that have the abuses of Scientology. And then the other side has xenu.net and the YouTube channel name on it so that people can look at it. And I use that money to make sure that I continue buying these flyers or the business cards as well as the camera equipment. As I mentioned earlier today, I've got a Insta360 with me today, and what the Insta360 does is it gives me in post, you won't see it live, but later on I can show you conversations from a better perspective that even include me in those, right? So typically I'm showing the camera away from me. We were going to the org. We intercepted the Scientology person with their way to happiness. She cam-backed me all the way back to the org, then she finally went in, but by the time we got to the org, they had already had the blinds down, right? So the blinds were already down. Then I came over here and I met one of the protesters that's out here, Never in Nana, and if you haven't, please make sure you head over to her channel and subscribe. She does more static videoing, and I appreciate, she protests. I love it. Again, as I said before, you want to come out and protest? I'm going to come out and protest with you. So I love that she protests. She's not here to stream in this process, right? She's not against streaming, it's just that she doesn't really have a need to, right? I knew that she was here, so I delayed my arrival. When I did get here, I did notice that we did have a bigger police presence than we saw yesterday. And I went over and I talked to the lieutenant, and I said, listen, they're going to tell you that I'm putting my camera in people's faces because they like to lie. Scientology always lies about their stories. And they engaged the police yesterday, and the police had no evidence that I had done anything wrong. They did warn me not to do things that I hadn't done, and I reminded them, don't eat yellow snow, which is just as good of advice for them as them telling me not to do things that I don't plan on doing. And they basically had to peace off, man. Then the security guard who had been antagonizing me for at least 2 hours, he went over there, and I looked at him when he was standing next to the sergeant, and I said, hey, pound sand, buddy. And the sergeant said, hey, that's kind of aggressive. And I said, you want to come over here and talk to me? He's been doing that he's been in my face for 2 hours, right? You've now given him the understanding that it is entirely legal what I am doing here. Yesterday we had the event coordinators come out with their permit, and they realized that nothing in the permit says I can't do what I'm doing. And they're enforcing the permit, right? Now we know that on opening day there was a permit on Clark Street, and they violated that permit, but the police did not enforce the permit. Today and yesterday, the police have been enforcing the permit. The police have been enforcing my right to protest, right? Just a reminder, I don't really care about their beliefs, right? I'm not anti-religion. I believe that anybody can believe what they want to. What I have a problem with is the crimes, right? I have a problem with the crimes and abuses of Scientology. I don't think it's acceptable to say, well, as long as they don't abuse my children, it's okay if they're child abusers. As long as they don't traffic my family, then it's okay if they do human trafficking. But I don't think human trafficking is ever okay, right? And yes, I am saying that for the crowd that's around me. Oh, I see all of that Afrikaans in the background. And Gregory, I will respond to your email, thank you very much. And I probably will take you up on that invite. I'm curious if I have a babysitter or not. So that is one of the United Services people. This morning, there really isn't too much action or activity. Yesterday, we had some incredible finds, right? So there were plenty of people that came by and they said, hey, thank you for what you're doing. There were people that, hey, I'm a student there. I really appreciate that you're outside the org every day. So people are understanding this. Wait, what's that? You know, I don't know what they are selling. I don't think, we can walk over there. Let me let these people pass through real quick. It's Scientology. Yes, thank you. They're very good for deceptive marketing. So we can walk over past the other table. And again, the guy did get a little bit aggressive towards me. He said, hey, get away from our booth. No, I don't have a beef with him. At least I'm pretty sure I don't have a beef with him. So yeah, I've been standing on the other side. Yeah, we don't like human trafficking, right? So it's acceptable to do human trafficking? It's moving people from building to building without their permission. So they separate parents and children. I have as many proper noun names as you want. Look up Serge Del Mar. Look up Laura Anderson. So trafficking humans is taking people across borders. Then they have the religious visas. If you'll notice in their organization, many of their people have foreign accents. Yep. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just,
Oh, sorry.
no problem. He asked me a question, I answered it, right? And again, you may not have heard, right? But it's Scientology. Don't let your children know them at all. They're Scientologists. Oh, thank you for the Mary and Francis. And folks, I will need reminders. I'm going to tell you that when I do have interactions and engagements, I'm trying to stream the information out as quickly as possible, be as truthful as, I'm never deceptive in what I'm saying, but that doesn't mean that I haven't said things that were incorrect. And I've always been willing to stand behind it and correct that. Oh, I appreciate that. I see that we've got another super chat. That's awesome. Thank you, Mary James. Yesterday, if you remember early on, Free Xenu Project and I had an interaction with an older woman in front of Scientology over at the Ideal Org on Clark Street. And Chadwick came out, Chadwick Burke of Booptology fame, he came out to try to pull the older woman in, and he called us jerks. Don't listen to those jerks, or you don't have to listen to those jerks. But she said, no, I want to sit here and talk. So she's actually a great public. She did try to confront and shatter, right? Then her daughter came out, and her daughter had to finally pull her in. Well, yesterday we saw the woman again, and we saw the daughter. Now, we still haven't seen Chadwick since, a month before the trial. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, there's a little kid going over there real quick, but there's a little dog here with his spiked collar. He's got a spiked vest on. I'll show you in just a second as soon as we get. That's awesome. Howdy.
Morning.
How are you today?
Fine, how are you doing?
Excellent. You're fine. Just trying to warn people about Scientology here. Yes, so this is the e-meter, and Declared Dave had mentioned that this is the Mark 7. I think it's one of the more advanced versions. This is made in China. There is one at the other end of the table as well, and they are giving people personality tests, right? That's one of the things they're asking. Now, again, great news. It's early in the morning. We just don't have a high foot traffic yet, so. Yesterday we did, again, have a police interaction with an officer first. She came over, asked me some questions. I told her that she was out of her mind for thinking what they had said. And then she wanted to go chat with the Scientologists again. So I went over to stand in their conversation. She said, oh, now you want to talk to me? I said, nope, I just want to hear what they're lying to you about. And she said, I gave you a chance to converse. And I said, you asked me if I put my camera in people's faces. I told you no. You have no information or evidence otherwise that says I've done anything wrong here today. And then she eventually called her sergeant. Now, I'm going to say that there was no evidence of a crime in the first place, so why did it get escalated? How does that officer not know the laws that they're enforcing? Right? My hope was that they get educated on that. I hope that overnight the vendor team was educated on that, right? That, yeah, what he's doing is perfectly fine. Oh, break time for Neno. Now, folks, if we do get more protesters out here today, I do want to see if I can go and find the Way to Happiness person. That, we don't necessarily need 15 people here showing the same elements. And folks, I really appreciate everyone being out here. That there are people that can't be here for legal reasons. There are people that had plans, right, that are out of town for whatever reason, or just had daily plans. As you know, last night, I had to leave earlier than I wanted to because I had family plans. I think what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go let them know as well. I'm going to go take a lap around real quick.
Okay.
So, all right.
I'm going to watch them do an auctioning session here.
Nice. Oh. Now they've got Neno on the meter. Oh, I see why you put the jacket on, so you look like a customer. So now we're mocking up our own reactive minds, and they're playing customer as well as vendor. All right, folks, I really love this festival, and I kind of do want to show you what's here. We do have Never and Nana. Never and Nana will be continuing to take footage of that, so we'll be able to post that later on. But let's go look at some of the other vendors. Juanita crushed it yesterday. I love that I don't know the woman's name, but the redheaded lady that looks like Linda Hunt, she gave Juanita a Dianetics flyer, and in giving her the Dianetics flyer, she didn't realize that she was anti-Scientology, and Juanita just really was having a fun time with her. How you doing? So we're going to look at some of the other vendors here. They're not really doing an audit. I wonder if he rock slams, what do they do? But it's not really the personality test that you would do inside. You know what they're calling it? It's a stress test. They're doing a stress test. So small press tent, right? And again, there's a lot of independent booksellers here, a lot of people who would have at one point in time had a brick and mortar bookstore in the past, and they've got like new old inventory. The building behind me is an incredibly unique bookstore in that they have old first editions and only prints, right, that are there. So they've got museum quality books in the store behind here. So we've got Clawfoot Press here. As we walk up the street, what we will see is that there is a bandstand at the far end of the street. There's also a bandstand right here in Printers Row Park. Usually there's a farmer's market going on there on Saturdays, but there was not one yesterday. This event probably supplanted them. Howdy. Got a nice puppy there. I'm just going to walk up to Harrison, and then I will walk back towards the org. Yes, Marina, you're absolutely correct. Everybody has the fever, and the only cure for the fever is more cowbell or Scientology's cultic books. This is neat. I think these are like the old posters, or is it magazine covers? But that you would have seen on dime store walls. We have the Muslim community here. More often than not, they will give you a Quran. They are a religion, and we found Feral Cheryl's place. Most religions want to propagate themselves as vastly as possible, right? They want to scale. And the best way to scale is to give away your information because you believe in your information. And you want people to come into your fold because they believe in what you're doing, right? But that's not it with Scientology, right? In Scientology, they're afraid to let everybody in, because if they let everybody in, then they might, share secrets or confidential information. And they make you pay for everything, right? So I'm going down kind of an empty street. This is almost an alley. The building on our right is an apartment complex, and they do have entrances on this street. But the building on our left, the front entrance really is over there on Dearborn Street. This is the rear entrance, but you unless you're a resident here, you're never going in the rear entrance of this building. So this is kind of a pseudo alleyway, and today it's blocked off because of the event. Yesterday, I'm going to see if we can take a slow run past this mobile building here, because the people that I believe, thank you so much, Mini Minion, for being a member for 2 months. So yesterday, I believe that the owners of this event were down there when they brought the permit down. And then when I found them in front of this booth, they both shot into those doors very quickly so that they wouldn't be seen on camera. Now, I still got them on camera, and I also have them on camera down by the Scientology booth when there were 6 security workers down there. Here we've got a bit of an audience here. Let me make sure it's not Scientology talking here. As I go around here, I'm just trying to give you a better view of the stage. There's just speakers, right? People that they'll have come speak up here quite frequently. I'm not sure what this one is.
To go over the challenges of the job.
So you might hear this. I'm going to try and talk through it. I'm going to talk through here.
So there he was.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any signage for this person, but I don't think that, I definitely don't think that it's Scientology. And there's some activity on Harrison behind me. So you're hearing sirens. I think they're far enough away that you're not going to really hear that. All right. Let's head back down to By the way, I remember one of the Chadwick Burke stories was Trashy was talking to him, and every time Trashy would say something, he'd say, what, and just kind of egg him on in that situation. But that's precisely what diabetics? Did you say diabetics? Can I have more sugar? Any more diabetics? Now, again, we proactively went up to engage the police and let them know that, listen, the folks over here, they're going to tell you lies about what I'm doing. Diuretic diabetics. So Neno is still sitting in the chair taking his fake stress test. They're salting the mines, right? Let's salt the gold field. Hey, since we don't have any customers, let's put some of our members in the chair to show them what this is. Definitely don't like to hear about the forest fire there, or the brush fires there. Hope they get that under control. Are you still stressed, Neno? Howdy. Really appreciate the support of everybody showing up here today. There will be times that I'm going to have to leave here and chart. My equipment won't go for the full day, but my hope is that we'll have other people out here, whether it be Juanita, Heli Gear. Like I said, we've got Never and Nana out today. Just kind of get round the clock coverage of what's going on here. I'm going to head back over to the org just to see if they felt comfortable enough to let the blinds up. I'm going to go back. So one of the reasons that it's quieter right now, it's Sunday, but it's also much earlier. Remember, yesterday I didn't get here until about 12:30 or maybe even 1 o'clock because I started, I think I started when I got off the train up by Jackson. We're going to go over to the org and just do a little check on the blinds. So I might not have even gotten here until 1 o'clock. I want to see if there's a schedule for this.
One thing that I wanted to bring up was this is one of the greatest cities in the world.
Folks, this is the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation stage. If somebody can do me a favor, I'm going to put this here. Can anybody see if there's a schedule of speakers? And if there is a schedule of speakers, do any of them appear to be Way to Happiness, CCHR, or Dianetics, Bridge Publications, anything that's Scientology? Howdy. So that was a different experience from security than I got yesterday. I don't know if you saw the woman leaning up against the barrier kind of give me the peace sign. From here, I don't have a good view of the org, so I can't see if there are windows on. Or if the blinds are up, but we are going to head back over there. Again, from time to time today, they are going to feel comfortable and confident that they can lift the blinds up. I want to be over here as often as possible, preventing them from leveraging their retail space, right? I want them to look as extremely uninviting as possible. I want the public people here to see that they hide from and that they do have things to hide. Usually when we get up to the org, we'll see that it's entirely empty. When I did come up earlier, right, we saw that we let's say, body routed the Olga, their flyer person, back to the org. And as she was approaching the org, 3 people came out of the garage, 3 staff members. Oh, I see somebody. I'm watching you, watching me, watching you.
I got the blinds down. All right.
Do they?
Dave,
All right,
I'm
so
here.
you already got them down?
No, they were down.
Oh, they were down earlier today too, so I think that I met Olga. By the way, our friends over there.
Yeah.
And everything's fine.
Okay.
I met Olga. We are calling the blonde Eastern European
Okay.
Olga now.
Okay, Olga.
She had the Way to Happiness flyers, and she was walking up Clark Street,
Yeah.
and I just happened to intercept her, and it was,
Oh.
fortunate me.
Yeah.
We walked around. She came back me quite a few times and came back to the org.
She-
And then I saw some, like I said, 3 staff members walk in there as well.
3 staff members.
So-
Okay, right now the door is open, the shades are down, and what else was going to ask you? All right, so they have the table.
Yeah, they do have a table over there. The one thing that, again,
Yes.
I'm nobody. We're just 2
No,
independent
I
friends talking and
appreciate
having a fun
talking.
chat.
Yep, we bounce ideas off each other.
I would, always make sure you give people lots of leeway, right? So don't get in anybody's face. They will. I've already told the police, listen, they're going to tell you that I'm
Right.
putting my camera in
That was
people's
a lie
faces,
yesterday.
and you're not going to see it. And they already went up to the police, and the police said, pound sand, right? We don't care. They're not. That guy's not doing anything wrong. Shut up. Go back to your booth. I would not pass anything out on that property either, because I believe that their permit probably says that you can't hand out flyers there.
Okay.
But if you walk up onto the sidewalk behind
I
it,
watched your stream like a couple times already, just so I know what I'm doing. But,
Nice.
So,
All right.
So just walk that way and make a left.
Yep.
Okay.
So folks, we've been talking to Heligear. You're so used to, right, we've got Flaco's Tacos at the bottom of the street, so it's right there at the bottom of that street.
Yep. I'll be on at Hellgear, or
Yep.
no, at Heligear.
At Heligear.
So if you have a laptop, what I usually do is open all tabs, listen to one person, and who's ever out there scream them if
Yep.
you can. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I got 3 people already.
Nice.
So happy.
So again, the suggestion is, right, and I like it, right, if you are at home on a computer, go ahead and open up several tabs, put the background ones on mute, but let's get these channels boosted, right? And again, I'm not telling you I'm a giant channel and I can't platform anybody, but I want to make sure that everybody understands I'm supporting everyone who wants to come out and protest.
All right. And after yesterday's performance, we know everybody's going to be watching.
Yes,
these,
yes.
So put us in the background.
No.
We're going to be here for.
Yes.
I felt so bad watching you. Wow, that was
We're great.
really a lot of effort. So
All right.
I told somebody to make you a cake. All right, Wendy.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Take care. So again, we saw Heligear. It sounded like the blinds are down, which made sense. We did just see, so this woman right here, she just walked out of Scientology. I recognize her, yep. So she is staff. I'm sorry, public, she's a public. So yes, blinds are still down, right? So the cult of Scientology has to hide from public, right? They can't keep their shades down. And yes, I did say that for the person that was walking down the sidewalk towards me. On a Sunday morning, this street is much less populated, right? Whether it is churchgoers or otherwise. And we've got the Bears game going off at, I think it's a 1 o'clock game. But this will heat up as the day goes on. We will see more foot traffic as the day goes on. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. I think we're going to go up to 75, which is very, very nice. I wanted to show you that I've got my Declared Dave shirt on today. And I don't know if you guys see that in reverse or forward, but there it is. Yawn if you're in a cult. I think I just saw Olga. And if I did, she's being lazy. It might have just been that I saw somebody in scrubs, but I saw white tennis shoes and scrubs underneath the bus stop. I'm gonna head across there real quick. How you doing? Yeah, very strange. I like I said, I could have sworn I saw the scrubs, but I definitely didn't. Or she actually has taken control over material, energy, space, and time. Nisa, my shirt is ruggedly handsome. Ladies wear cute shirts. And I'm joking. Look at that. Way to happiness. And a dejected Starbucks. So again, right, nothing about Scientology on this. So Scientology is ashamed to be able to promote themselves. But here we see our woman must have been back out again. Tell you what, one of the things that will be very helpful to me is if any of you can watch on multiple channels, if you see something over there where one of the other protesters could use help that you think I could deliver, please let me know that. we are going to, I'll just kind of go around the prison. I'll go where her original route was taking her. Oh, folks, you didn't see the front of this, right? So this is The Way to Happiness, a common sense guide to better living. And again, it is common sense. There is nothing in this book that you couldn't have found in 1,000 other books. And do I think that this book, on its content alone, is dangerous? Absolutely not. But what the problem with this book is that it's the loss leader. It's the thing that brings you into the organization, right? It's the thing that you say, oh, cool, well, this is interesting. I like what they have to say in there. Let's see what else they have to say. And then you start taking a personality test, or you start looking at the videos about how L. Ron Hubbard was the youngest Eagle Scout ever, and that he's the only person that, or the first person that ever studied nuclear reactors, and all of the BS that propaganda they put out there. And what a great naval commander he was. He almost sunk a log. He opened fire on one of our closest allies, right? Well, by distance, absolutely our closest ally, or at least tied for that. Thank you so much for watching Heli Gear over there. And by the way, everybody, please, and if you can only watch one, share it with them. Go watch the other channels, right? We want to make sure that, you know, and you saw that, yes, I do have commercials on this today. I put them on the most conservative setting, so maybe once every 30 seconds, you're probably going to get a 5-second interruption to skip. If you're premium, you're not getting anything. But it's just a way for us to recoup our costs, right? James, you just had the wrong personality. It is early in the day. Remember, this is the bodega. When DOA came up for the DNC, that's the bodega where you see the open 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days. That's the bodega that DOA saw these flyers in. And we saw them the next day, but the doors were closed, and it was because with DNC having shut down the inner city, and they might close on Sundays too, right? There's no foot traffic here, so as a store owner, it's a little bit challenging to say, let me go pay somebody's salary to sit in a store that's not going to get any revenue. Now, if it's the owner of the store, right, that's a little bit different story, that he's, you know, it's his own time. Just for fun, I want to go over there and see if he's got anything on the counter. Like I said, every time that there's been somebody in there, I've never seen something on the counter. Every time the doors are locked, we see something on the counter. Yep, there's nothing on the counter. I'm gonna go in and talk to him. Hello, this is looking at me, not you. You know these people come in here, right? You know who they are? It's Scientology. They are very dangerous. Es una secta. Never, don't let them put this here. Very dangerous. This will give information about what they do and the crimes and the illegality of this group. They're right down the street.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That one, well, he was very receptive. Now, again, I think that he was Hispanic, and by the way, I hope that nobody ever takes these as me making a derogatory mark. It's a descriptive statement of the person. And I showed him, right, hey, how fortuitous that somebody discarded one of the Way to Happiness flyers, but I showed him that Way to Happiness flyer. And I said, please don't let them put this up here, right? Es una secta, it's a cult. I gave him my card so he could look up more information on it. So hopefully that sticks. This next street that we come to, so we've got Federal. This is that false alley that I walked down when I went back to the table. and you'll see that it looks more like an alley up here. It is called Federal Street, but it just feels like an alley, not necessarily a street. On our right-hand side is the parking garage for the federal prison. This is our federal prison here in Chicago. Usually, you're not serving a 30-year sentence there. It is typically people that are coming to court, so you're being moved in and out of that space fairly frequently, or you're being held there for arraignments. I'm scanning up and down the streets to see if I can find Olga. By the way, so I'll open that up again. Sorry. That is the event right there, and you can see the Dearborn Station in the back. No, I meant the planet, Fuzzy, right? Earth is the prison planet. But yes, both the actual prison, the ideal org, and the planet are prisons. You know, you're going to see a video on this soon. So this is Columbia College. I'm right next to, this is Columbia College residence halls. I'm right next to the Harold Washington Library. What happens is Scientology will come over here and they will recruit. So they've been in this area, and these are all supposed to be students of Columbia College. So I'm going to show you the 4 residences that are so easy to walk to for Columbia College. Right? At this point, I've walked 3 blocks away from the org. Thank you. I've walked 3 blocks away from the org, and we've just seen the Ark there, or the colonies at Ark. There was a security person out front. I'm confident that that's a security guard for the college or the residences in that space. We are underneath the State Street train station here. We are coming up on State Street. Well, somebody just asked, will the Scientologists leave the planet if they could? We know somebody went to Target 2. I'm intrigued how the communication was sent back and forth on that. All right, we'll walk back down towards the event that's going on here. Right. L. Ron Hubbard claims to have, well, the claim is that he's gone to Target 2. And I'm guessing that the biggest reason that he's gone to Target 2 is because his 21-year gap to return back as a reborn Thetan has expired. And naturally, if he wasn't reincarnated, or he didn't come back as didn't snatch a new meat sack for his Thetan, well then, of course, it must mean that he's gone to another planet, or Target 2. Sorry about that, I'm gonna give you a mute. It's funny, we're talking about cheaper. The South African currency is very much weakened against the American dollar. So one of the reasons that South Africa is so popular for Scientologists is that you can go there and take your upper level courses much cheaper. Now remember, most of you are US based audience, but yeah, we have audience from around the world. I think we saw Australia, we've seen England, we've seen Europe, we've seen South Africa here this morning, and I'm sure there's more than that. But there are advanced organizations on every continent. So that castle, and one of the South African members will have to remind me, it starts with a K, but there's a castle there. And if you go to Google Street Maps and look at that castle and you put the little person down inside of that castle, you'll see that it's the Advanced Org St. Hill of Africa. Yeah, Kyalami Castle. Thank you very much. Yesterday, one of the students who engaged us, right, they said, hey, we go to Columbia, and I thank you for being out there every day in front of the Ideal Org. What they also mentioned was, just ahead of us, right, is Jones College, and this is high school students. Oops, sorry. And this is high school students, and he had mentioned that he saw people passing them out here recently. I don't remember which propaganda it was, but Scientology will pass out all of their propaganda whenever they can. You can see that we've got the event going on right here. I just had my conspiracy theory come over me. I saw somebody walking with a book and I automatically assumed it was a Scientology flyer, not remembering that, oh, by the way, everybody in that festival is buying books. It's the reason the festival's there, right? I have, Tina, and I remember about a year ago, Aaron replayed the entire that entire interview on his channel. But there are also all kinds of other little snippets, right? And handwritten notes. And if you ever look at, I will say, the executive summary of most of those papers are that people from primitive lands that have skin colors that are not white will never be educated enough, and it's up to Scientology to clear the planet there. And we need to bring white Scientologists to Africa, India, Asia, because all of those other people left to their own devices couldn't solve the problems that Scientology can, right? That is L. Ron Hubbard talking. That is not me talking. So this next street is Polk Street. We'll be down there in just a second. You know, there are people that will tell you that L. Ron Hubbard was pro-apartheid, and he was pro anybody who gave him a seat at the table. So he was very much pro-apartheid until the apartheid government kind of got suspicious, thinking that he was trying to come in and overthrow them. And then when the apartheid government turned on L. Ron Hubbard, he turned on apartheid. So he was never the benevolent person, he was always the opportunistic person. At the end of the year, I will be visiting South Africa. So we're heading back over to the org real quick. All right, I'll be over there real quickly. I'm very close to where they are. You see that open book sign ahead of me? They're just to the left of that.
Which I will say, this is not.
Still got the police over here.
Hold on.
Just remind them to pound sand. Nothing I'm doing is illegal, right? Yep. I'm looking for others. I see one of the other people. So yesterday, the gentleman in the yellow was the tag team of the aggressive security officer. I'm looking to see where Helly's at. She's not in my field of vision. Yeah, so this is the Lit Fest. They're Scientology. Don't go by them. Sir, they didn't tell you, but that's Scientology.
I know.
Okay, good. Ah, thank you. If I had eyes in the back of my head. 1 second. Would you like a book?
Oh, thank you.
So we're back over, stationed outside of the building. I was coming back over anyhow, but I did hear that the security folks were trying to gather around Helly, and I just wanted to make sure that nobody was overstepping their bounds. Listen, not to the rescue. When I like better when I'm on the street. I like that I can zoom in and zoom out. I think that it's a better experience for you, but unfortunately I can't tag comments, so I can't put those up on screen, and I can't play little videos. But I love the new intro, right? Windy City, keeping watch over the city. So they do have to pay for their uniforms, right? So everything that's here, there's nothing free in Scientology.
This way, that way.
Just so you know, it's Scientology. They won't tell you, but they're Scientology. Yeah. Yeah. It's a human trafficking cult. Look up Lisa McPherson. Ask her why Danny Masters is in jail for 30 years to life and still a member in good standing of this cult. I think she'll walk past me. Let's see if they try to push her the other direction. By the way, again, I'm going to tell you, an incredibly good book fair. There is only one outstanding problem here, right? Just so you know, that's Scientology. They're a human trafficking cult. How are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're at booth 408. We are on, if you look at Dearborn and then came down the street, you'd see there's like a T intersection. And at the bottom of that T intersection is the Scientology Dianetics booth. So if you ever want to know what Dianetics and Scientology are about, look up Lisa McPherson. She died at their hands. Look up Danny Masterson. Right? Look up Ellie Perkins. Look up Whitney Mills. All of these people died at the hands of Scientology. There's a person intently searching on their phone at the next booth.
He did.
He probably had some of these at Comic Con,
But I think that's something, yeah.
Watching our Popo friends over here. Got a very interesting outfit coming down the street. Gentleman dressed up like a rainbow fish. That stands out a bit in the crowd. How you doing? There was another, I think it's RW Publishing, something Wilson Publishing, but the person that runs that publishing company seems to have an affiliation with Narconon and Applied Scholastics. I'm not able to find it, but I think ChatGPT shows that, and that's going on at another booth here. One of the people last night sent that to me. Oh, wait, Jersey had a good idea when I... You know, create a reading room or a reading table. Like if you remember, what is it, Christian Science or Science Monitor, that they would have reading rooms, right? You would come in and read that. So, you know, just buy one copy of it and let people read all of the confidential levels for free. I like that idea. Howdy, Powerlies. Great to see you. So just a little bit of recap today, right? As I approached the org, I was going to go by the org and make sure they closed their blinds. But we did find somebody out trying to pass out their Way to Happiness flyers. When she saw me, she ended up going back to the org. She did stop at every opportunity to cam back me, right? Faking the evidence that, oh, look, stalker, stalker. And I've expressed to everybody, don't care about her. If she did not have flyers, I would not follow her. I do not want her sending out propaganda. By the time we got back to the org, the blinds were down, and that might have been that she was already talking to the org, knowing that I was coming there. And then we headed over here. Early on, I noticed there was a heavier police presence than there was yesterday. There was no police here yesterday as protocol. So,
Answer great.
no problem. That I went and approached the police and let them know that, hey, Scientology is going to lie to you today saying that I'm doing this or I'm doing that. If you just kind of keep an eye on me, you'll realize that all of the things they're telling you are absolute lies. Because Scientology is allowed to lie to the public. Even though they're the most ethical cult on the planet, lying is something they're doing, right? They have the acceptable truths, not realizing that an acceptable truth is a lie. And about, 30 minutes later, we saw the taller gentleman here in front of us. He went over to the police and said, hey, there's a guy over here bothering my customers, right? And the officer said, he's got every right to be there. And I went over to let him know, hey, thanks for educating him. Let him know he can pound sand. We then went back over to the org and we saw another protester. Heligear was over there.
I don't know, they're walking around.
Oh, rainbow fish. Sorry, Joanna Tripp. He had like scales on his, he had a tank top that had rainbow colored scales, fish scales. You'll notice that right as this line kind of gets wide out here, I back up to give the people more space. When I continued on down the path, past the org, the blinds still were shut. Again, we want to make sure that they don't have a retail presence. This is a retail presence. I want to make sure that I'm frustrating them and not allowing them to be able to sell their books to the public. When I went on that walk, I found a discarded Way to Happiness book. You'll also know that I went to the bodega, that DOA went into that bodega during the DNC conference and saw that they had flyers on the counter. So I went over there, and because I had the Way to Happiness pamphlet with me, I was able to show that to the merchant behind the desk, and I said, don't ever let these people bring this book in here again, right? They're a cult, as soon as secta, right? Because it sounded like he was speaking Spanish. So I then gave him one of the cards. He took the card. Not yesterday, what day was it that we went over to JJ Fish and we talked to the vendor over there, because the person that we intercepted just outside of the organization who was being body routed had received his flyer over at a local restaurant. So we went over there and talked to that vendor, or to that restaurant manager, and then he told the counter clerk that, hey, that guy's doing a good job out there. So again, I am not aggressive in any way, shape, or form. I let you disrespect me before I'm going to disrespect you, and I think that I've been able to garner goodwill with most of the people that are either in the Printers Row or Columbia College. I do know that there are some people that are sad that there's a camera outside their building every day. You'll notice that I oftentimes bring that up. Today, I've got the camera positioned so that I'm on the table. Yeah, every once in a while we get in the corner of somebody, but that's because the line is really moving their way. They're moving themselves down this line. Sorry. Somebody just dropped the magic card there, I think. So, I don't really need to have the public on film. That's not, they're not out here to be there. I try to be as gracious as possible to them. I've handed out more flyers than they have today. So Heligear's kind of heckling them in the background. Folks, I know this is boring. I will add chapters to it so that you don't have to sit through the monotonous times when there really isn't anything going on. but I've got to be there the whole time so that I can capture the highlights when that's occurring. Get kind of close up on, right? So if we look here, again, we've got the Mark 7 meter right there. Let me see if I can get down here and show you the Mark 7. Oh, I can't see the person there though, but there is their Mark 7 meter, and they're giving the stress test today, not the personality test. And I keep on conflating those. Hey, Corn, how you doing? Yeah, all of these folks out here who want to protest the cult are doing superstar work, right? Juanita crushed it last night. Really loved that, being out there. That she was kind of able to play games a little bit with one of the people that the redheaded Scientologist who oftentimes avoids me. She'll walk through the garage so she doesn't have to walk past me. She does, I think that she said don't follow me before as well. She, I believe, is first language English person. But she handed a flyer off to Juanita last night and said, "Oh, I like your hat." And I'm pretty sure that Juanita was wearing the Captain Davy hat, which was just hilarious to us. And then she showed him the, "Hey, Lady E, thank you so much. Appreciate that." Yeah, hopefully you're getting enough. Education is an arrogant word. I hope that I'm entertaining or giving you information as we go through here, and the recaps. So some of you guys get to hear the story 6 or 7 times, and you get to fact check me on how well I tell it the 7th or 8th time. Just so you know, it's Scientology. They're Scientologists. Yeah. Did you hear? Oh shit. Oh shit. No problem. They're very deceptive. They won't tell you who they are.
Yeah, no, nothing.
They're ashamed of their cult. And by the way, if you could stay here, they're going to tell you that I put my camera in your face. Oh. Did I?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go over and listen to the shore story. Are you filing another false report? Yeah, so you have a First Amendment right to show your religious propaganda, and I have a First Amendment right to let people know what you are, right? That's how the American process works. Thanks for your service today, guys.
So you know everything's being recorded too.
Understood, but I appreciate it. I made a deal with them. If they take their table home, I'll go home. I just don't like human trafficking, and I don't like child abuse, and that's what they support. Yes, there are laws against filing false reports, and I will be at the police station tomorrow because they did file a false report on me yesterday. When the sergeant came out, he said, "Yeah, you've done nothing wrong." Young kids thanking the officers for their service. I know you're not hearing what they're saying, right? But At the end of the day, the officer is saying, there's nothing here, right? You don't want him to do what you're doing, right? Remember the American president, right? You have to be able to, you have to be willing to listen to somebody who would say something at the top of their voice that is most objectionable to you, and that's their right. I can't hear what she's saying, but I can hear what he's saying. There probably won't be an incident number. Excuse me, sir. Will there be an incident number on this, or this is just a consensual contact, right? So,
They were just talking.
yeah, okay. But his camera is running, right?
Yeah, my camera's running.
Okay. I just want to be able to FOIA it.
Okay.
Thank you. Ah, 0 for 76. Oh, look at the puppy down there. I love that little short, long-haired puppy over there. I do like that, again, remember I tell you that their chief marketing element is to be deceptive, right? So the woman didn't realize she was about to sit down to Scientology. All I said was Scientology. Didn't say anything else. Just said, hey, that's Scientology. She goes, oh shit, right? And folks, I believe in the First Amendment. I believe that they have every right to share their information out here. I have every right to share my information out here. They are no better than me, they are no worse than me. Don't worry, the stats are down at all the orgs. Sneaky Pete's going over again. I just want to make sure he wasn't going to tell us short story. As I was saying, I do believe in the First Amendment, and they have every right to proselytize. They have every right to tell everybody the strange beliefs of their cult. All I'm doing is sharing with people other information that they can look up in that space. So this is a public, right? The gentleman on the right, he's a public. We've seen him several times in the past month. I just waved to him. Stats are down, huh? Stats are down, huh? I do. Yep. They all agree with you. Yep. Is that why people walk away from your booth just knowing that it's Scientology? By the way, he does have an accent. And if you couldn't hear him, he was telling me that I was looking crazy. Again, eye of the beholder. I'm looking crazy.
Oh, are you?
Because I don't believe that Xenu gathered all the Thetans in the overpopulated galaxy, froze them, put them in a DC-8, flew them to Earth, put them in volcanoes, and exploded them with hydrogen bombs. And I'm the crazy one here.
Well, we could always talk about children talking about adult topics.
Yeah. Children can't consent. She went over to the police,
Oh, okay.
and I followed her, and the cop said, "Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want to.
Sorry.
Go pound sand."
Yep.
But,
Have a nice day. We're right here.
yes, yes. All right. We're about 2 hours in. I am saying this just as an independent person chatting about.
Yeah.
I might go find some food and some drink and go recharge my batteries.
Gotcha.
But
We just got a sandwich out of the store, even
Okay.
though I know it's not.
yes,
But it's the closest.
No problem.
So we'll
Yep.
just sort of hang out here.
Cool.
If you want to go
Yep.
ahead and go.
Yeah. And I'll let's see here. You know what? I'll watch your channels.
Not me.
Okay.
I'm not lying.
I'll watch.
Kelly.
I'll watch Helly. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to get everything recharged up, right? We know that yesterday there was much more activity later on in the afternoon. So I promise to be back shortly. I'm going to go grab some water. I'm going to go plug in the batteries, make sure that we've got enough juice for the rest of the day. Folks, please, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell. And when I come back, you'll be able to know that we're coming back live, all right? So I do appreciate that. You know what? I'll walk past the org on the way. Oh, the other one that was fun yesterday is that when the officer was here trying to,
Yeah.
tell me I was doing something wrong, did you see when the bird crapped on her?
No, I didn't catch it, but I thought that's what happened when she was like, ah! No, Karma wasn't here. Officer Karma wasn't here.
All right. You have a nice day. It was nice meeting you. Yeah, folks, please, if you can, go over and support Heli Gear. Make sure that you subscribe to me. I'll be back. Usually, I say I'm going to go away for an hour. I'm sure that I'll get nervous and want to come back here within 30 minutes. But I just want to power juice all of the batteries, get everything charged up again, and then we will be out and about. As we exit, hopefully you're all heading over. Oh, we found another Scientologist right here out in the wild.
Just wait.
By the way, I do have my yawn if you're in a cult shirt on. Oh, another Scientologist.
Oh yeah. Oh, children in STEM? One second.
Do you have anything positive to share about your cult? Is there anything positive about the cult of Scientology? So, big on Scientology, big human trafficker fan? Child abuse is okay? All right, Power Lies. We'll go between Dave and I. We'll go ahead and make sure we're putting them on our shops. And I'm terrible at doing all of the needful stuff in order to profiteer in regards to this process, right? And I'm not making a claim that everybody's profiteering on this. Yes, phone tech sounds fair too, right? Yeah, trust me, I'm on the phone. Trust me, bro. All right, we're gonna get a little noise as we come through here, so I'm gonna chat as we go past this. There's a radio that we got going on there. Ooh, little skateboard guy. He's dressed up in his Sunday best. So it's the Scientologist coming out of the org. Anything positive to share? Make sure you get him to bring the shades down. Bring the shades down fast. I might not get there in time. So we're seeing, I can't tell if this, the older woman here is going to be a public or not, but the two people that walked in, right, were there. Now he's going to come and close the door. Anytime you want out, we can get you out. SPTV Foundation. Anything positive share about your cult? The best way to control people is to lie to them, right? Isn't it strange that you can't talk about your church? The Church of Scientology won't let you talk about the Church of Scientology? Hey, Scientologist, bring down those blinds. Oh, look, we've got a hustle. Good hustle, good hustle, good hustle. Do we have a public over there? Yeah, I'm not sure. There might be a public person in there. Oh yeah, they're telling him, don't talk to the guy outside, right? Don't talk to the guy outside. This is always fun. Now, I will tell you, right, that the younger kid that walked by, you know, I call him Skateboard 1, he 100% did tell them that, you know, text him that I was gonna come by, but did no good, right? I was able to get here faster. How you doing? How's the child trafficking today? All right, so we've got him down here. Again, you only have to be away from the org for a short period of time and they get the confidence that they can bring that back up. So, don't ever go in there. It's a cult. Mary James, it was a very poor Ronald Reagan impression, but yes, right? Mr. Sciento, tear down those blinds. Bridge, Chris is a new name to me. I don't, I'll scroll back to see if I missed something there. You know, I don't know if his name is Chris. I would not be surprised if he does work for Dream Exchange. He really looks incredibly young. Like, I would say late teens at best. That doesn't mean that he doesn't work for Dream Exchange. And if you are, you know, I appreciate the information you sent last night, but if you're finding more, that'd be great. We did see, right, that was the public, that he was at the table, right, saying that I was the crazy one, and then we just saw him get back to the org himself. I'm gonna go ahead and cross her. How you doing today? Marsha Smith, I appreciate that. I will say that we've had quite a bit of activity this morning. Thank you so much, Powerlies. I really appreciate that. You guys are helping me pay for my new Insta360, and the reason I have that is, again, it just gives me another advantage point of camera when I have interactions that when the police are being lied to about my actions and activities out here in the public. Folks, I appreciate everybody being out here. Oh, this will be interesting, right? So you're seeing right here, OEMC, Office of, it's basically the, not traffic enforcement, but for these festivals, there is a, let's call them the Cub Scouts of the police department, the OEMC. and they're the ones that do the traffic control at these events. So the orange vests that you see ahead of me, those are all OEMC. And one of the things that'll happen is that these guys will come around and because you're standing on your feet at just these street corners like road races or this event, you'll be standing on your feet and they'll come around to do the brake shifts or shift exchanges, right? They'll pick one person up and drop another person off so that they can go ahead and grab lunch, go get a cigarette, whatever that process is. I see that name, Bridge, and when I'm at lunch, I will look that up. Ha. Who do we have right there? So I told you right yesterday that Juanita had an interaction with somebody. This is the person that Juanita had the interaction with. So right behind that person is Chadwick Olson, right? So there's Chadwick Burke, Booptology, and this is Chadwick Olson. The woman with the red hair, you know, it's a Linda Hunt lookalike. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Chadwick. It's the Latino male, the beefcake Latino. My bad, guys. But now I couldn't see him when the face wasn't pointing towards me. He's grabbing his cigarette. Make sure you smoke enough not to get cancer. Mike, I'm not going to repeat that, but I agree with you. Howdy, Poe. We've had a couple more interactions with the police. Scientology has gone over to the police and tried to tell them I've done something wrong. And the police have just said, he's got every right to be here, just like you have every right to be here, right? You're here pushing your religion, which is your freedom of speech. He's here challenging your religion, which is his freedom of speech. Oh, you know what? That might be Mama Lisa. And can you send me, do you have a page on that as well? Do you have a page on Mama Lisa as well? By the way, folks, I really appreciate the help that many of your channel members have been doing, sending me information, right? And I've long desired this, that we can get the names of these people. I want them to know that they can't remain anonymous in this process. Plus, I just think it's more meaningful if I can engage them by name. Earlier today, when I noticed that there was a police presence here, yesterday there was no police presence here. They came when called, but there was no standing police presence here. I don't know if yesterday made them escalate their process, but I immediately went over to the sergeant who was there, and I said, listen, I'm gonna be here today. There's going to be some people making some false claims. They're going to tell you that I'm putting my camera in people's faces. I hope you keep an eye on me. You'll notice that I have never done that. In the months that I've been out here protesting, never once have I stuffed my camera in somebody's face. Now, it has been stuffed in my face, and people have closed ranks on me. Yesterday, the event organizer closed ranks on me. Yesterday, the security guard that was most aggressive closed ranks on me. And that is the illegal action which I was warned not to do. I just love when the police officers tell me not to do things I haven't done. And again, I still love, the phrase that we've heard from other protesters: "Don't eat yellow snow," correct? Right? So that's another thing we shouldn't do, but you haven't seen me do. You know what? I love that. Thank you so much for that, Bridge. If you're under the radar and you know some of these people, I would really love to get the names on these people. And I just keep on adding to There's a blog post on my website, Windy City Thetan Watch, at Gmail, or I'm sorry, WindyCityThetanWatch.com. There's a blog post on there that shows you the Chicago staff with their names and pictures and showing who's NOI or who professes to be NOI. And these are all people, they're self-proclaimed. This is not me pretending or suggesting. This is them on social media and other accounts saying that I work for Dream Exchange and I just joined staff in December, or whatever the case may be. Yep, I do like to kick rocks. I have been reminding them pound sand. When the Asian woman walked away from the police after getting no satisfaction, you know, I let her know that, hey, you're 0-76. And I expressed to them, hey, your stats are down. All right, folks, when I cross the street here, I am going to shut the stream down. Please make sure that you go over to Heligear, right, or anybody else who might be out here in Chicago, or if there's any other live protesting. I'll be back within 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I just kind of want to charge up the batteries, grab something to eat. Oh, Bridge, that's an awesome idea, right? That they will run in their, you know, circles of professional circles. Okay, folks, let's head over to Heligear. Please make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure that you've got the notification on. I will be back as soon as I get some foods and some beverage, and I will be back out there protesting the cult of Scientology. Thank you all.